my chakra system is designed for the centers of stability, like inner feet, inner thighs, lower abs, and heart. So those are the like the yeah, the alignment of bodies. Like that's what I when I look at each of these like these centers of energy, I can see what dropped out for somebody. And if they've dropped out one of those centers, usually they've dropped out most of them, but if they can get all those energy centers active, then they're moving gracefully. And
I love
so
that. Can you give me an example of how you would work with that? I might tweak it a bit.
yeah, sure. Well, a lot of people have issues with balance. They're
Okay.
having most people aren't using their adductors, their inner thighs, for balance. And so I show them what they can do to first find those muscles, then use them, and then how to apply it into, like walking, for example.
Well, this is very interesting because you've just mentioned four different centers, and you obviously teach this in some of your classes. Have you thought about creating a short little video that is like a little taster, a little teaser that takes people through PEA 1, balance, PEA 2, what's second theme?
Um, um, well, like inner feet. Um, so I've got feet, inner thighs, like dantian, abs, front and back. So it's in the front and the back.
So let's
Um,
pick because the feet, each one of these physical things is the example. That's a way of multi-sensorizing through a ritual that's interactive, and then you can give an application to people. Yet the themes are, let's name the themes now, which maybe you haven't done before, so we can create a whole PEA journey through your tools in another dimension. So balance is one. Name a theme for each of the other three or four.
okay, so I'm just writing it one down.
Hmm.
Feet. So we got number one, number two, number three, number four. So feet is usually connection to power.
Power,
Um,
perfect. Put down power as the P. I'd like you to put this originally. You can do one, two, three, four, or one, two, three, four, five. But then underneath that, I'd like you to do PEA1 as a triangle. PEA2, and then to give example. As the example obviously is the part of the body, or the application is the part of the body, something they can practice. That will give you an exercise they can tune into. So that would be yeah, that would be the application. So I would like you to PEA it after you go through this list of 1 through 4. Go ahead. So we got balance, we got power.
mhm. We've got um, next up is um, mm, it's like initiation. It's like we've
Okay.
got it's um, it's sort of I would almost call it the foundation of where all the movement is coming from.
So
So foundation.
initiation. So isn't the foundation of where all the movement coming from the Tajian?
That's where I'm
Yeah.
at.
So yeah, I knew that. So let's just call it an initiation or foundation. What would be a more graphic word that
I
is
like
telling?
I like initiation. That's nice.
Too. Yeah. Beautiful. See, we're creating a whole system within your system. This is great. So this becomes a spoke of the wheel that adds a specific specialty, even perhaps a whole class on moving through, a journey through your own wisdom, through your own body as a instrument of communication. It takes things to, again, a whole other level. Okay, we got balance, we got power, we got initiation. One or two more, right?
We've got heart.
Yeah.
So um, well, like I've always got this next to me. Always lead with your heart.
Always lead with your heart. Yes.
Um,
Yes.
so so leading and following. Um, almost like not even intuition because that would be higher. Um, but
Higher
heart,
intuition.
what's that?
Higher intuition.
Heart.
Higher intuition.
Hmm. Hmm.
When I got this beautiful piece, this gem, a number of years ago, someone explained in the placement of me putting it here, which was right in between my heart and my neck chakra. She said, this will connect people from their physical heart to their higher mind. And so that's of great interest to me to connect with higher intuition. And that's a great way to what you can say it. So it connects your heart with your mind, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, because that's what I do. So one of my main things that I teach, I mean, people are like, "Oh, this is good posture," but it's to connect these four centers together. This is what I call the heart lift. Um, And so I have everybody go like this, get their arms up in the air to lift their heart, and then to sustain the heart lift, find the back muscles, the lats, and then you bring your elbows in front of you to kick in the abs. So those are the upper, that connects those upper two centers. So that's just as you spoke, that
Yeah,
connect,
those upper centers.
I
And
have
did you
them,
say the upper back muscles or something else, or is that connected to the heart? It's another one
that,
again.
that's connect, it's like this, it's the it's connected to the heart. Yeah, but it's yeah,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it's like from it's supporting the heart from behind.
Okay. Beautiful. Now, this is some of your description that would be part of both the philosophical explanation of what it means and then the application. Now let's PEA these that you just described. So for each one, you already did it for the inner thighs. You started to, but now let's fully flesh it out.
Okay.
PEA, make a triangle. PEA, one of the three apexes, and P would be the theme. Let's start with just exactly as you did. We'll follow your lead of balance. And then example is inner thigh, and perhaps demonstrating that through how people are not in balance, whatever. And then an application would be an exercise, something they can actually practice right there, or that you would teach them. So what would be standing, doing the tree pose or something, or
So when I yeah for that one, I usually make people do. Um, I have them connect to their inner feet, so I have them do this. So
excellent. Yep,
like
beautiful.
to
Yep,
connect.
hip sway, we could call it.
Yeah, well, it's because it's actually like picking up the foot, the like the opposite. If I pick up this heel,
Yeah.
this activates.
Right. Excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent. So
and then
this
that
is
connects
great.
them. Then that connects them to their foot.
Beautiful. You see, we're creating this as a video. Can you see yourself doing a short little video that can demonstrate
Yeah,
these? And it only would
yeah,
take you 5 minutes. It's a short little video, and it's just like little chapter titles, PEA1, PEA2, taking people on a journey, a special class called, what would you call it? That would put all this together.
okay. What's that?
What would you
I'm
name
sorry.
it? What would you call it if you were to name it as a class or a specific teaching or specific session that you would do with someone individually? Because it's a very specialized, beautiful focus, a journey through balance, power, initiation, and higher intuition all together. What would put that all together in a word or a couple of words?
Well, the way I call them stability centers, um,
Stability centers.
stability centers. Yeah,
Okay,
to
so a
and
journey through your stability centers.
yeah, or aligning the stability centers, or
Aligning your stability centers. It's exciting. Yes, because aligning has a physical component to it. And I like the name, it's catchy. Aligning your stability centers. I can see this as a YouTube video. I can see this as a Facebook video. I can see it as an introduction to a new class or a new addition to people who are coming into your classes, whether they're aged, disabled, have Parkinson's. Yeah,
Yeah, brilliant.
And what's that?
Brilliant. Thank you. Because
Yeah, I always do my best thinking out loud.
it's so well, but it's like this is one thing I love this system that I've created, and it's so cool because it applies to all movement, and that's what I love about it. So
In the Parkinson's people population, because you could do a specialized video for them since that's a lot of your focus as well. I heard from someone just the other day who's a mentor of mine and a wonderful soul. She's 88 next week and she's kept herself young. It's Wowza Eliza Lodge from Esalen Institute, and she's created a whole system about the sacred actor, that we're always actors in our life as a sacred performance. And she was telling me that one of the ways that she's worked with Parkinson's, who are generally people who have rigid spines, is to have them shake spine and make sounds and deliberately let go of the rigidity. Is that something you do or relate to or could do more of with the Parkinson people? I'm curious.
ah, I could absolutely. Yes. That's what I think is missing is a little bit more expressive movement for them on from my program that I've got is just a little overly structured. It doesn't
That's
allow.
what I'm doing with you. I'm taking the box and I'm bringing you out of the box. So, you know, the jack in the box, so that there's, because I've seen it in your videos on Facebook lately, they're a lot more fun to watch. And it's you. You're a lot more fun. You know, you've been doing the pleasing the parental figure, authority figure, doing what's right, doing what's good, looking good. And now I feel you feeling safe and secure enough to begin breaking out of the confines of feeling like you have to conform and I can't do anything in Tantra. You're finding ways that people are hungry for to be able to authenticize your system and make it more fun. So, for example, let's make it more fun. So the swaying, okay, for the PEA1 balance inner thighs, let's do something that's adds another element to it of absolute fun where people not only maybe move in figure eights, but do something they've never done before, like they're becoming a washing machine. I'm sure you use that analogy from time to time, right? Where they're a washing machine with their hips, or they're a washing machine that's off kilter, so it's going wildly in different directions. Let's take it to another level. Hip swaying, with the inner thighs. What would you do with it? Give me an example
Well,
of taking it even further as an application.
what what comes to me is the voice is like making sound. What sound are those muscles making? Um, and
Excellent.
and
And it might
sort of
first
different.
be a sound that's grueling, like, "Oh," and the sound might have a voice. I don't want to do this. Oh, I'm stiff. And then feel the sounds shift as your words and intention shift. Ooh, I find more freedom. Oh, this is good. Hey, let me out of here. Hey, me too. Okay, let's go together. Ooh, this feels good. So have people go into a little bit of uh, nonsensical, but it's never nonsensical dialogue, which brings out the wisdom of their inner being.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
So that's PEA1, new
because that
inner
yeah.
thigh balance, hip sway. Okay, PEA2, power, feet, and exercise, and demonstrating an application that you can put into this video as well as in classes, because I know you're going to be starting to use the system. We're creating a new system, a new layer of a system you can add to, whether it's different days of the week or different group classes or individual sessions. It adds another flavor and layer of your offerings. Okay, power, feet. Give me an example and application of how you both work with the feet, as you already showed me a little bit about what you're going to do, but let's take it to another level.
What I love to do with the feet is for balance, like going up on the tippy toes for balance, and also walking with the pushing off from the
Like
standing.
springing board, like ready to spring out into the air, like off a
But this
springboard diver.
this way up and down, but also walking and pushing from the back foot. So
Heel,
utilizing the
heel toe, heel toe.
yeah, and utilizing gluteus to for the power because that's where the power is really coming from. But it translates from the feet up into the glutes. So if they're
Excellent.
not,
So that's the example. And so give me in the heel toe practice something they can immediately apply with the heel toe balance. It could be that a walking exercise. It could be skipping, walking, going slow motion, standing still, different ways of, and you can say you can do this at home. And in our class, when we meet, whether that's one to one or in the group class you join, we'll take it to the next level. We'll do things with your feet that you never thought you could do. You want to always break people out of their confines. So let me hear your version of that.
Well, using our feet is your feet are your actual grounders. So to me, that if we're not associating our feet being grounded, it's pretty hard to um, in dancing in particular, we want to push down into the ground from the waist down, and then half of us is lifting up from the waist up. We're lifting up. So the feet have a great significance around that, and so we have to understand how we want to use our feet on the ground, and also how our feet are going to connect us to the rest of our body. And
Okay,
so
good.
the
Now let's add an element that's a little bit more fun than the structured focus that you've had up to now. To take this structured focus I've just been sharing with you to another level, imagine practicing this between now and the time you come into class with your feet.
Mhm.
Give me an
Well, I
example.
like the skipping is fun.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
that was
I think it's wonderful. One time when I was just getting started in all this, I was in my late 20s. I was living in Honolulu. I had a woman who was a very successful photographer. Her whole family was very structured and very, great academics. One was a filmmaker, one was a doctor, one was a lawyer. She was a foremost photographer for celebrities in Honolulu. And she was part of one of my very first awakening creativity workshops in my early 20s. And she, when she came to this workshop, um, told me how difficult it was to break free out of her structures. And so I had her pick up a puppet, put it in her hand, skip around the room, and sing the words out loud. It's safe for me to stretch my limits and play. She couldn't do it. She burst into tears. She said, I've been so serious, so achievement oriented all my life. I've forgotten how to play. So it adds not just with the skipping, skip to my loo, but another element of helping people break free from the confines of their rigidity. So I'm giving this to you so you can go way beyond the box. Give me something you might do. You could do a similar exercise, but let's hear your version of that.
Well, yeah, the application is of skipping is to put you into a different imaginary space. I always think of myself in a meadow when I'm skipping, and it's the bunnies are around me, and so you want to use your imagination as you're skipping, and you don't want to don't limit yourself in direction either, because to me skipping you can.
Excellent. You can skip in different directions, forward, backwards, sideways. Now it gets fun. You see, now you're getting out of your own structure. This
Thank
is
you.
beautiful. Yes. Now we move into the Dadian initiation.
Mhm.
Point example application. Point into initiation.
Point is uh that's what you mean by initiation is point.
Yeah,
That's
that's the theme, the philosophical, energetic, teaching meaning, the significance, like when we're earlier talking about the different meanings of the different days of the week or the colors of the days and the planets and the themes. Yeah, it's the theme.
okay. That's what you're calling the point, which is at the
That's
top,
right.
and then we've got the
Initiation, point, principle, policy. Yeah, that's always what the P stands for. Yep,
okay. Point equals
practice.
P.
Yep. So that's it. And then the E is the example. Example is with the Da Qian, you can feel it, put your hand there, feel how your movement with your hand, all movement comes from that place. Good. Here's something you can apply at home, and let's take it to a level that's beyond the structure I've created before. It's PEA. Let's PEA it.
So I guess, and also, let's see. So with the Dantian, so the easiest, this is a unique way to find Dantian, but I usually have people bring their elbows in front of them, so it
Yep.
connects their spine. So it's most people don't have that connection, but I have them find their back. We do the heart lift, the back, the lats, and then the elbows in front brings it all together. So it has to be like a little resistance as the elbows come together, and that will connect the heart down to the dantian. And that's what a lot of times for me too, I'm kind of shameful in my belly, and so I take the focus totally away, not all being in just my belly, because that's very it's a lot of self-judgment in that area for me. And so what I like to do is connect that, and but have a unique way to find it, and then have an awareness of the back at the same time. So I call it the belly and the back. So putting the
I love
hand on the
that.
front, hand on
Yeah,
the front and the back, and then once we're moving, then thinking of moving from the back, not from the front. And it's all also from the inside. So that's why getting them into that body position is key, because then they can initiate the movement from deep inside, from like
I
inside
love
their
this. I love this. And then some of the things you may find, you can say to them, is I've discovered that that's a place for me where I've carried shame and different relationships to my own view about what I see, and with that, with the sexual organs and my relationships to relationships. See what is in there for you that is unearthed. That, in there we have our gut feelings, we have our deep, gutsy feelings about life. We have our being able to dive deeper into our guttural or instinctual or intuitive awareness. What does that awaken with you when you move from your own shame, blame, anger, pain to something that is, I honor my sensuality. I honor universal principles and truths that connect my feeling to my heart, to my ability to connect deeply with myself and all life and creation. So your own version, how would you say that in your way?
Well, I would say that finding the womb center is so key for women, and in order to honor that, you have to be in touch with that. You have to
Hmm.
literally be able to touch it, and and moving that is one of the most soothing things that we do. And what I've done, one really fun exercise that I like to do that connects women in particular, but everybody, I used to have a women's sensuality circle, and we used to get together and we would put a piece of food in our mouth, and then we would circle our hips, and the food, with the taste of the food, would just like explode in the mouth. And so this whole connection of the belly and the womb, and moving that from the inside, can produce these really fun results that
I
you
love
might.
that. So that's a simple exercise you can get people to practice on their own. And then you can say, when we do our online class, or when you come to me in this corner for a physical class or an individual session or a webinar, you can have these different four corners that match your offering. Then we'll take this further and deeper from in between now and then. I'd love it for you to take your favorite piece of food, not a big piece of food that's hard to chew, but something small and something delicious. And notice how, as you move your belly while you're chewing, not a huge amount because you want to digest it and get it down rather than, cough it up, that gives you a feeling of extreme pleasure and a renewed relationship to your sensuality, to your gut feelings, to your gut wisdom, to your deepest feelings that you've been keeping inside. So this is great, whether it's anger, pain, joy, it doesn't matter. And that
Mhm.
in this moment right now, describing to you, we happen to have right now a new moon just started yesterday, a new moon in Scorpio. So what does that mean? It's a great time to honor both the sacred and the profane, both the dark, because Scorpio honors going deep into the dark, as well as the light. Maybe something that doesn't taste good. And you know how when you eat a starch and it turns to sugar, or you eat something bitter and then it becomes sweeter. Different ways that you can transform your relationship to negative emotions you've held inside with food and movement together. So this is a brilliant way of you teasing people to then go to the next, and we'll go into this much deeper when we meet. You might have people knocking down your door. Oh my goodness. All right, let's
Fun.
move to the next one. How was that helpful to you, that last one?
Yeah,
Dachien.
well, the connection of the food. which to the
Yeah.
Dantian, which I haven't, it's sort of like bringing these pieces together that I've done
Yes.
again separately, but what happened for me was like, well, what's fun? What's the fun part? Even without you prompting me, I'm starting to prompt myself now. It's like, what's the fun part of that? What's the what's the application into life that can be sustainable, that can be
Exactly.
joyous? Yeah.
That's right. Beautiful.
Mhm.
Our next one. That one is the
Heart,
heart.
heart. Hmm. So the heart
And
lift, if the inside.
heart lift. And this one is what is the energy you would higher learning, higher wisdom, higher intuition, or what would you call it in terms of the message there, the P,
Um,
the point, the principle.
to me, it's like almost a higher perspective. Um, it's like transforming perspective. It's that almost
Okay,
immediate.
transforming perspective or uplifting your perspective, and so an example of that is you showed me that you can move with your elbows and it connects your upper body with your heart, but also with your higher wisdom. It frees this whole upper series of chakras from the movement that you're creating in the heart, and it helps you, as we know, the heart, as we look at the body, the arms, look at me, is on a horizontal axis, like a latitude around the earth, are the extensions of the heart. These are our connections. So the way we connect and develop rapport with ourselves and others. So notice as you move this center, how you feel more in connection with your own caring, your own nurturing, your own ability to care for yourself, for life, for those near and dear to you, for all of life and creation. So let me hear your version of that.
Well, for lifting, I always say I call it lift your heart, and I teach that to everybody. And the whole idea is when we lift our heart, our eyes actually open and we see things totally differently. We're able to breathe better because we can breathe into our belly, and that connects that belly into our eyesight and into our heart. So literally our heart is uplifted, and then by breathing into that, and then the sense of openness that happens, the contraction goes away if that heart is open. So I always like to just have people think of literally lifting their heart and then have their arms up and see what happens. Look where you're looking when your eyes, when
Beautiful, beautiful.
your head
And then
your heart.
notice at home, to make this even more fun, how do you bring this to a new level where people can take the exercise, apply it at home? And before we go deeper in my private class or our online session or the webinar that you're coming to, going to the different corners, here's something for you to practice that will be so much fun. Give it sound. Ah, ha, 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 ha. That something. Let me hear your version of that.
Well, my version of fun is to be around one of your favorite people and literally don't tell them what you're doing, but to lift your heart. And so if you do this with a partner, just everybody lift their heart, it gets magnified, which brings us to some
It's a
heart math,
beautiful application. There you go. And write to me. Let me know what you notice. You can say to them, and in your coming to our one-on-one or group class or online session, I would love to hear some of how any of these exercises benefit you. Putting it all together in connecting these different themes of power, of balance, power, initiation, and um, higher wisdom, or however you call it. Here's something for you to take away before we have a chance to meet. So we now want to put it together in a bit of a uh, summary and inspiration to action. How would you do that?
well, I would say that, well, the whole idea of this workshop is to align all these centers, and so as you're moving through life, as
Align
you're dancing
centers.
through life, then that's you can change where you're uh, the sense depending upon where you're focusing, that can change how you're moving your body, and then however you're moving your body will affect how you're interacting with the world. It'll be how you interact with yourself. And so this awareness of sort of like they call it the checklist, look, notice each center And if you're noticing, even if you're having a hard day or if you're a little sort of low, if your mood is down, you can just always lift your heart a little bit and see if you can alter your state by activating these centers.
Lovely. And you can do this in just minutes. I would love to see you create a video that you can send to me or put it on Facebook, or put it on YouTube as a test and utilize this for setting up one-on-one, group, online, in the physical sessions. How does that feel to you? What did you found most
So
useful about this today?
so fun. I feel like these are the pieces of wisdom that I haven't told anybody else about, and you're just amazing putting it together. And it feels like it could be my system,
Absolutely. It is
or
your own system, and you could even trademark it or label it, aligning our centers with
yeah,
with C or a T. This is absolutely fabulous, and it gives you more of a practical focus. And if, as you PEA it, you're taking people out of just focusing on the physical, you're adding your emotional. The E can also be your experience of the center. The I. That's the I. The A is you for the people's practice, what they can practice. And the P, of course, is the principle, the point that is your teaching, your wisdom itself. This is fabulous. And I'm so pleased that we can share this as a bringing out your wisdom teachings to the world in a way that you never could before, in a way that's a lot more fun and engaging. We did this together, Leslie.
yay! So grateful. That's so cool. That's really
As
helpful.
always, oh my goodness. How do you see yourself using this? I've given you some homework and suggestions. How do you
Well,
see yourself taking what we've set into motion today?